Oh, there we go. There we
You
go.
look so cute.
Thank you, girl. Thank you. Good, because I want to look like I smell good.
Well, you look good. I guess you are good. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm trying to stay out of trouble, you know.
Okay. Same.
I'm
Same.
say how did your anniversary go? That was fun.
It went really well. I think he like might be obsessed with me or something because here he come right here. Like I think like he must have planned being off work so he can see me do this. He had somehow, some way, he's here. He just bought me some. He just bought me a straw for my water. He's such a good man. That's a good man, Savannah.
Yes, Savannah, yes. I love it. I love to see you happy, glowing, happy. So exciting.
I'm usually a joyful person, but you know.
A little extra pep in the
Yeah.
step. So, Nika, I'm super excited to just kind of see. Well, I haven't seen your whole entire journey on TikTok, but
Mhm.
I've seen quite a bit. And from what I've seen, you're so authentic in front of the camera.
Well, I did used to before I did this full time. I used to work in corporate America. Sorry, y'all. Y'all, I'm outside because I wanted natural lighting, and they picking up trash. So, sorry if you can't hear me. But I used to work in corporate America as a teacher, so I was used to getting in front of a group of people and teaching. So it was easy for me to just switch that off and do it in front of my, 700,000 followers. Now it was easy for
So,
me to do it that way because I was doing it as a full-time job.
yeah. But so
Yeah.
how did you do that transit? There's a lot of people that are transitioning from corporate to having their own business, especially being a creative. What was
Mhm.
that transition like for you?
Well, when I worked in corporate America, like as a teacher, I had to like train like their material, and I don't know if all corporate America is like that, but for some reason, the people who like made the material didn't teach the material, so it was terrible. It was trash. Like I had to go in and change so much about it in order for my trainees to retain it. So I was always creating something, and I felt more fulfilled in that role when I was creating. So I started doing makeup on the side, like for YouTube and stuff like that. And from there, like everybody around me was like, why do you even work here? You're so talented. What are you doing working here? So I did like teaching a lot, but I didn't feel fulfilled in that role unless I was creating. So they started like having me do a lot of stuff around the center. Like they had me doing media stuff. So I was like recording our promos and editing our promos. And it's just, it led into me doing it more so for myself. And I got to a point where I started creating art because I think I told you I was trying to get over a breakup. He's stupid boy, stupid man, and I started creating online, and that led me into getting clients. And I kept doing it, and I really enjoyed it. So I was like, I think I could do this full time, and I just started doing it full time. So I was like, I'm an artist, so I just became an artist because I said I want to be one. It was just a smooth transition that way.
Wow.
This man is over here taking pics of me while I'm in this interview. Wow.
You
What?
know, all I heard, Nika, was that he's a good man and he's staying. That's all I heard from that.
He's over here
That's
taking
wonderful.
videos of some kind of work. What is wrong with him?
I love it. See, you have a part of your five people, and he's definitely a part of the five people. I'm on mirror mode right now.
Yeah.
Um, so now, okay, so you made the transition from corporate to being a creator, starting on YouTube, doing makeup. So how did you transition from makeup to these amazing, elaborate art pieces that you make?
I wish I had my iPad out here and that it wasn't broke so I can show you guys pictures of my makeup from the past. But I used to do, like, I started off in glam makeup because, like just a little light, just a little something slight, nothing fancy. But I started off doing glam and it wasn't challenging enough. Like, I'm a true Capricorn. I have to be challenged all the time. And I always like, it's almost like I have to add some level of you can mess this up in order for me to enjoy myself. So I started doing face painting, like special effects, learning how to like create blood and gore and stuff like that. Hold on, my lighting. Okay, there we go. It's done, Sandbag. For some reason I can't see. But I started doing like special effects, glam, and then I started doing face painting. And my friend was like, I think you can actually like paint or draw, because I've always been a creative. Like I've always had to do stuff with my hands, but I had never like tackled painting on a canvas. But I was painting all these elaborate things like on my face and my body and on other people's bodies. Like I was obsessed with the moon, so I would have like beautiful scenes of the moon and stuff on my face or my body. And she's just like, there's no way you can't do that on canvas if you can do it on such a, like, your chest is nowhere near as big as the canvas would be. So I gave it a try, and I was like, oh my god, yeah, I can be an artist or something like that. So that's how I transitioned, because I was already an artist, but for makeup I just switched my canvas and switched my medium.
That's amazing. For the people that are super excited about their craft, their paintings, I know this amazing local lady, and she takes pictures of the Rocky Mountains,
Mm-hmm.
but she's like, this is my fun thing, this is not, and she's just starting to like make money and have it as a business. So it's like, how did you like switch your mind to be like, okay, this is no longer a hobby, like I love doing this, but like now I need to make a living in order to keep doing it.
Order to do it. Well, so the craziest thing is like when I transitioned, when I decided that I was gonna, I'm sorry, my dog nephew is out here and my actual baby out here too. So I'm sorry, y'all. This is my real life regular. But I started off saying that I was gonna be an artist. So I immediately started charging. I immediately was just like, okay, I painted that and I'm gonna charge for it, because I said I was gonna be an artist. So that means I need to be a paid artist. So I created a piece, and it was Juneteenth 2020. Only reason I remember is because my family usually has like a big celebration, because we black. And we were having a celebration where we had a manifestation routine where we would write our manifestations on a piece of paper and tie it to a balloon and release it into the air and hope it come back to us. Now, at the time, I was doing makeup and I was manifesting a career in creation. I did not know what God had in plan for me, of course, or the creator, whatever source, whatever you believe in. I didn't know what was planned, because I asked for a career in creation, and that same day I sold my first painting for like $85. I didn't know how to charge for paintings then at the time, but I put my first piece of art on Etsy and it sold within 12 hours that same day that I manifested a career in creation, and it just went on from there. It just never stopped.
Ah, I'm getting goosebumps. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you did your first sale. Okay. And so the manifesting balloon, where did you come up with that? Is that something you heard or?
Well, no, that's just like my family is very, especially my mom's side of the family. I grew up in a church, so we grew up very religious, and they teach you in church, depending on the church you go to, they teach you a lot about praying and faith without works is dead and stuff like that. But my family was very big on manifesting and creating a life that you want for yourself. So we decided to have that as a part of our Juneteenth celebration, because it was about freedom and us actually being free. So we just wrote everything down. The crazy thing is, I used to write prayer notes because I didn't want people in my business when I was talking to God. So I used to write all my stuff down, but I never knew that I was manifesting at that time. Like, I remember I manifested my very first car off Craigslist for like, my first car was a very nice car at the time. It was like a 1998 Dodge Intrepid. I paid $400 for that car. But I wrote all that stuff down, the amount I was going to pay for it, the year. I wrote all those things down, but I didn't realize I was manifesting. I just called them prayer notes. So my family has always been big on that. So that's honestly where that came from. They've always been that way.
That's interesting that you say that, because doing what I do, talking about manifesting and all that stuff, it seems like this new age thing. But like you, my grandmother owned a Baptist church. So my family completely, like, if you want something done, you go to God. Like, that's just how it's always been. That's so cool. Okay, so now where do you feel that you're at as an artist?
Well, I was having like a not I don't want to say an identity crisis, but I had a very big transition. From like now I'm living with my partner and we've been together for a year now, but even before we've been together for a year, like it was a big transition. We had a lot of stuff happen. We had life events, like we had people passing, and just the transition of me moving from my home and moving all of my things, including my art, into a storage. It was just such a big transition that I felt spiritually homeless. That's the only way I can describe it. Like, I just did not feel like I had a place, even though this is where I live. I didn't feel like I had a place because my things were in storage, my art was in storage. I'm here, and it's like it's a new place. It's a better place. It's a healthy place, but it was still new. Like they talk about when you're healing, you have to get used to the trauma. For the most part, if you have a trauma-filled life, you have to get used to the peace because that shit don't feel safe sometimes. So you have to get used to the peace. So I was in such a peaceful place that it's not that it didn't feel safe, but it did feel very unfamiliar. So I was at a place where I almost quit creating in April. Like I had not created from December of last year until April of this year. And that's a very long time for me. I was still selling art, like people were purchasing my old pieces, but I had not created anything new at all because I didn't realize how changes, good or bad, would affect me or my creativity. I didn't understand how it would change me. So I was at a place where I almost quit. So it's like now I had to get back to creating, like, okay, you grew up in church. You have David and you have Goliath. And people were offering David his weapons, and he was just like, no, I'm going to use this slingshot. Because this is what God gave me. Like God told me to use this. I felt spiritually homeless because I was trying to do things that were not what God didn't give me to use. I became an artist and I went viral for geode art, but I was so stuck on other forms of art because I didn't feel like it was good enough. And it wasn't until I got back to what got me to this point that I felt grounded in my creativity. So I went back to doing like fluid art and geode art. And it's like, I had to get to a place where I don't have to niche down as an artist. I've never really niched down, but I was trying to, and that was my problem. Like, I've always been the type to challenge myself creatively, and I wasn't doing that because I was trying to stay stuck on one specific type of art when I became like well known as an artist because I am well versed in multiple mediums. But I was trying to focus on one thing and I felt stuck, and I didn't realize I was creating my own stagnate. I didn't realize I was the block. I didn't realize I was. I was just like, I don't understand what is happening. Like, I just don't get it. But you're not doing what God told you to do. And so I feel better now, but it took, like, I was gonna quit. I was just gonna walk away from it. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to keep doing this because I didn't feel sustained as an artist to keep creating because I was like, I don't think I can keep doing this. Like, I don't think I can keep trying to create and nothing's coming from it. And usually I feel like I get paid multiple ways as an artist. Like, I enjoy the process. So for me, that's a form of payment. I enjoy the finished product. That's a form of payment. I enjoy my client's reaction when they get their piece. That's a form of payment. But because I was not happy with what I was doing, I wasn't getting paid anyway. I wasn't getting paid process. I wasn't getting paid from the finishing product. I just wasn't getting paid monetarily in any way because I was not happy with what I was doing. But now I'm happy.
That is so exciting. There's so many parallels that I started a salon a couple years ago now, and I finally gave it up last year. Well, no, this February. And I was like, God, you told me to open a salon and be creative. And it's like, yeah, but I didn't tell you to do it that way.
That's another thing.
So, it's so interesting. Now, now that you're going through that transition period, and you had a partner through, like, how did your partner play a role in going through this transition?
Well, Jonathan is very supportive. Like I told you, he was just out here taking pictures of me on this for this interview. Jonathan is very supportive, and he always be involved in everything I do. If he could breathe for me, he would. So he's always trying to like be involved, but like that took a lot for me to get used to, because I had not being with him made me upset in a way that I realized I had not been treated well before. I had like him. So like he would ask me questions and I would answer it. Like he would ask me like, how's your day? And I would answer it, and then he would follow up. And I was like, the fuck? Why are you asking me all these questions? Like, 'cause I just wasn't used to that. So he got very involved with my art. Like he was very interested in my art. And like I was used to people being interested in my art, but I was not used to sharing that part of myself with a romantical part, like romantical. Girl, what is that? With a romantic partner. So that took a lot for me to get used to, but he is very supportive. And like honestly, a lot of the stuff that I am doing now is because I'm not gonna say he pushes me, but he don't let me slouch. He asked me so much about my work, and him just asking me about it, it makes me like, at first I was like, I don't want to tell you nothing. That's my business. Why you ask my business like that? Because I've never had a partner ask me that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But now it's like, sometimes I'd be excited. Sometimes I still be questioning him, like, who sent you to ask me all these questions?
You the ops.
Stuff like that. But he's very supportive, and honestly, he helped me do everything. He helped me set up. He helped me set this up. He helped me, like, when I got pictures and videos of the piece that I finished last week, he was holding the piece while I got my pictures and videos. Like, he is very supportive. No matter if I want to do something, he's going to support me in doing it. If I want to be a sea turtle, he's going to help me figure out how to be a sea turtle.
I'm so happy for you. I'm like crying here, girl. Oh my God. It's just so beautiful.
Not that you content, you gotta stop.
No, I'm sorry. I'm so happy for women in business, creating, and have such a great team behind them.
Yeah.
Like, that's beautiful.
It is.
And also I'm a Pisces, so I always cry. But
yeah, I'm a Capricorn. I don't know what to do right now. I'm like, crying.
My best friend's a Capricorn, and I'm like, I'm leaving, hug me. And she's like, I don't do hugs.
Excuse me? You want a hug?
Yeah, I don't do hugs.
Handshake when I saw you. Why are we physical contact?
But, it's a good balance. We all have to have balance.
Yes.
So, I'm so excited. So, okay. Do you have some artwork to show?
I do. I only have the one piece that I plan to give away today. I only have that sitting right in front of me. Is Jonathan out here? Because there's two pieces he could bring out here. But where he is? Lennox, go get your daddy. Lennox, go. Is he in this live? He might be in this live.
Is he?
Let me see.
He might be.
No, he not in here.
No, okay.
Oh, hi.
Oh, I sent someone an invitation. Sorry, I sent that by accident.
Lennox, go get your daddy. Okay. If he come back out here, I'll tell him to go get those two pieces. So this, so Color Bomb is so as an artist, like, I do collections, of course, but then I do series sometimes. And basically a series it's like a collection where everything in the collection or the group of pieces have something similar to each other. But for me, a series is like something that's open-ended. I never really finish it because like a collection is complete. Like these pieces all go with this collection. But for me, a series is kind of like a collection. It's just never ending. So Color Bomb is a series I started in 2020 where it's like these black and white with bursts of color in geometric line work. And I started in 2020, and it's just We went from Color Bomb Part 1, and now we on like Color Bomb Part 11. So I'm giving away Color Bomb Part 11 today.
Oh, that's so pretty.
Oh, there we go. There go the color. You can see the color.
I've seen the like turquoise ones that you're working on. Like, so pretty. Okay, so for anyone who is in this live, you get a chance to win this giveaway. And basically the way to get this giveaway, keep tapping on the screen and actually put in the comment section giveaway, and we're gonna see who's going to actually win this.
Hey,
I'm such a Pisces, guys. Such a Pisces.
Okay. Well, we're gonna show the other ones too. He's gonna go get them out the closet for me.
Okay.
Oh, I have a piece. I have a geode piece I guess I can show because my next shipping day is on Friday, and I have 2 geode pieces that I have to package. One of them is huge, so he can't bring that out here. But I mean, he could stand behind me. But I'll see. We'll let's talk him into it when he get over here. You got to talk him into it. He's a very shy man. He doesn't like to be on camera. Okay, so when he come over here. Tiana got a question for you. Okay. Come in. Tiana, ask your question. Tiana, ask them.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. So I was asking, what are some things that you do to support this beautiful lady? I can't see you. What do you do to support this beautiful lady? And so what is it like dating a creative?
It is different. It's I don't know. I do like it. It's a bunch of, it's because it's not the same. It's always something different. So even if it's the same style, there is like it's always like a one of a kind outcome. And especially because she does so many different kind of styles. She'll do the sculpture stuff and the paintings and then all the other stuff behind the scenes, the trial and error.
Yeah.
Going out into other fields. But I don't know anybody that's an artist, so it's like the only person that's in my life that does that.
Okay. So do you feel that you're more of like a mathematical, logical person? Like you're more structured? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that why you guys work so well together?
Probably. Because I do like things to be, I guess, more planned. Mm-hmm. And then her style is just wherever it goes. Let's see where it takes us.
I love it.
It doesn't clash. It actually works pretty well.
The spontaneity.
When we're leaving the house, and he does his checklist before we leave, even if we just going up the street.
And so, what is it that you do? Like, or is it like, what is it that you do?
Or you talking about like work?
Yeah.
Well, I do offset printing, so it's like business cards, magazines, pocket folders, posters, just stuff like that. But at the house, one of my big hobbies is 3D printing, and that's sort of it is creative, but it's also sort of structured. Mm-hmm. I know what you're doing, and it needs to be precise and everything like that. So it's a little different, but I'm trying to get her to try to incorporate it somehow.
Oh,
he want to work with me so bad.
He wants to collab. Okay.
Well, there's been a couple different people doing similar stuff like that, using the 3D printer to create a thing, and then they'll paint it, or it's just kind of an extra step.
Okay, so are you gonna dip into painting and being, do a little canvas work yourself? Have you learned anything?
He be helping me sometimes.
Really? Okay.
Love it so bad. he'll be watching me. He'll be like, "Can I do one?" Like, oh my god, this is my job.
Yeah. So what are we doing today?
It's always we. Always, what are we doing today? We
I
working.
love that.
When are we going? Who is interviewing us? Not me. Us.
You know, my father always told me when men start talking like that, he's a keeper.
Yeah,
because he's thinking of the unit. He's thinking of the unit. What's best for the unit?
Can you do us a flavor? What's up? Will you get me that purple geo piece?
The
small one. Okay. So I have a small geode piece that I can show you guys on live. But here goes some other pieces of art. Hold on, my bracelet trying to hate on me. So this is Color Bomb Part 8. It's red. It's a little bit bigger. So this is 8. I wonder if you can see like the...
Because I remember the other ones had speckles of glitter in it.
Sometimes I do like the little ting-a-ling-a-ling.
Yeah, that's what you call it. Yeah.
Much bigger.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, this one's much bigger. It's not
That's beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you. But yeah, he is very supportive. I can see like him. You asked him about the whole mathematical thing. He is very analytical. So like sometimes like he said, I'm like, whatever goes with the flow. I've learned that with fluid art, sometimes you just have to let it do what it do and see what happens. And the outcome, he cannot do that. He can't do that. You got to make it perfect.
There's something to be said about because I was dating someone similar, but wouldn't like very, very rigid, wouldn't budge. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty.
Look at that, Rosie. I sound like it.
That's so cool. Is that like I see? I don't know. Is that acrylic over top? Is that poly?
This is resin.
Resin. Okay, resin. Okay, it's beautiful. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So this one is going out to I think Virginia. On Friday, and then it's a bigger piece. I don't know what that was. I'm not gonna lie.
So how do you get out there? Well, besides TikTok, of course. How do you expand your reach with your art?
If I'm honest, I don't. I am a firm believer in I am not paying for any promo. The talent is the promo. I'm not going to pay for people to see me. The right people to find me will find me. I've never paid for any type of promotion when it comes to my art. I don't think, because I understand how algorithms work and I understand how Facebook, TikTok, all these things work. When I was a makeup artist, I tried to use sponsored posts as a way to get more people to see my art. My makeup. And that did not work, not because I'm not talented, because look at the material. But what it is that it is a numbers game. It's you have to pay to play type of thing. So if they see that you're going to pay for promotion, they're going to make it so that your post without payment is not going to go far. So it took me an entire year in going viral on TikTok to get my Instagram back to normal after doing that when I was a makeup artist, because it's like, it's a numbers game for them. If you utilize sponsored posts, so you're paying them to put your work in front of people, your regular post, the organic, you're not going to have an organic reach. So it's just a way for them to get more money. So I just don't do that. And I just want my work to be in front of people who want to purchase my work. So I probably should, but I don't be doing this. The personality, that's how I get it. That's the only way. That's the only way. I did say I wanted to look more into doing like festivals, like going in person, because I've never done I'm very happy that I've been able to get to the place that I am where I am internationally collected, but I've never like done in-person things. Like I've never gone to like an art festival or to like, we have something here where I'm located called the Art Walk where like local artists come together. I've never done anything like that. So I said I want to start doing things like that more, but I've never done anything that way.
Okay.
It's just the personality to get them.
I found that too, that because I did once, I paid to boost one of my lives, and after that, it's completely ruined my organic reach.
I didn't even know that you can pay to boost the live. I didn't even know that was a thing. That is
Yeah.
crazy. And I don't be going long. Honestly, I can't remember the last time I went live on TikTok. I know that I should utilize it more because I know that that is a way I don't know, I don't know what they're trying to do. I think they're trying to like have you spend more time on the application. So they do want people to go live, and usually like they'll say things to me like, hey, your video is trending. How about you go live and make it trend more? So they're letting me know that they my videos because I don't go live, but I don't care. I ain't got time. I can't do this. I can't do this every day.
So I really want to talk more about manifestation, just because, of course, that's what I coach people on is manifestation. How you can remove those limiting beliefs and get what you want. And you were saying that stagnation that you had, you're like, that was me. That was no one else. That was me.
Yeah.
How did you move past those limiting beliefs? Like, how did you like snap out of it? I feel like it's kind of like snapping out of it.
It's one of those things where it's something as small as putting a dollar amount on how much money you're going to make is limited, because the sky is the limit and there is no limit to the sky. So because there is no limit, you can't say things like, oh, I manifest that I'm going to make $10,000 a month. You're limiting yourself. Even though it's $10,000, you're still limiting yourself because you're limiting subconsciously somewhere in there saying, I can only make that a month. So you can't even say things like that. But sometimes it's your environment. I truly believe in putting yourself in places in the prosperity of being in prosperity, being in a proximity of prosperity. So before I lived where I am now, I'm in a quieter area than I'm in now, and people amongst here seem to be prosperous. They seem to have more funding than where I was located before. But even when I was there, I would put myself into places where there was wealth. So I would go and when I would go to the store, go grocery shopping, I would not go grocery shopping where I was located because I know that's not where I wanted to be. I was grocery shopping way in a wealthy part of town. So, but even then, like you see how different the world is when you are in those places. When you are in those areas, the streets are better taken care of. They don't call their banks, they call them wealth management. Like it's just, you have to pay attention to your proximity, and sometimes your area can keep you stagnant on that mindset. So I saw a post where they spoke about, like, let's say this bottle of water. This bottle of water here at this location might be $1. Same bottle of water, same brand, same size. You put it in a wealthy part of town, it might be $3. But it's the same bottle of water. But you take that same bottle of water from there and put it in an airport, and it might be $10. So a lot of the times it's your area and it's the people around you that may keep you in a place or a mindset like that. I remember in 2021, I think it was, I told this story before on my account, but I had a situation where my car got repossessed, and it got repossessed because I was irresponsible, not because I didn't have the funding. I had crazy money, but I was being it was like I was spending it excessively because I wasn't used to having it. So I didn't know how to manage I didn't know how to steward over my prosperity at that time. So when I spoke to my dad, he has a limited mindset, but he can't help that because it's your environment. When I spoke to my dad, of course, my mom and my dad, they helped me. I got my car back. My car paid off now because, I'm blessed. But they did help me get my car. And that same weekend, my dad gave me like $1,000 to get my car back. And I was like, I'm gonna pay the money back. Of course, my dad didn't expect me to pay the money back, and he didn't expect me to pay it back super fast. He gave me money like on a Thursday. By Monday, I had wired him $1,000 back, and he's just like, "Why did you do that?" Like, I was like, "Because I was paying you back. I told you I was gonna pay you right back." And he was just like, "Well, I don't think it was wise for you to quit your job. You shouldn't have quit your job, because this what I'm doing now as an artist. Like, you know, they talk about struggling artists and everything like that. I didn't consult with any of my family before I did what I did. I just decided this is what I wanted to do, and I did it. So there was no questioning me on what I wanted to do. But being an artist and not depending on a 9-to-5 job, that's just not something a lot of people in our position would be comfortable doing. If I'm honest, that's why I stayed in corporate America as long as I did, is because I knew that I had talent and I could bet on myself, but I had become so dependent on what they were giving me that I did not take that chance on myself. So had I not got let go from that job, I would have probably still been working there, because I kept making excuses as to why I would need to stay. Like, my friend kept asking me every day, when are you going to quit? When are you going to quit? And I kept making a different excuse every day. It wasn't until I had no choice but to bet on myself. So when my dad said that to me, I recognized I had a limited mindset and belief system because he had one. He immediately thought that I had a setback, and that was because I should have still been working for someone that I could not depend on me and my ability. So when I sent the money back, he's just like, well, what happened? How did you get that money back so fast? I literally, in a matter of like 3 days, I made $4,000. And he was just like, I've never like made money that quickly before. And I'm just like, that's why I bet on myself. Like, sometimes I don't know where my next paycheck is coming from, but I still have never felt as secure as I do in working for myself than I did working for corporate America. Mm. Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
What is wrong with that?
A rose for a rose. Oh my goodness.
I didn't plan that.
It's so interesting. So I was, after the pandemic, I was because of the pandemic, I lost my job. And then I started to bet on myself. And then there's so many people that I had around me that are like, it's weird that you do content creation. It's weird that that's how you make money.
Yeah.
You know? And I even was in a relationship where they were like, you're not making any money from this, so why do you keep doing it? Mm-hmm. You know? And it's so difficult when you have people around you. It's for you to stay focused like that. And that's why you didn't tell anybody.
I didn't tell anybody because, like, I have to be honest, like, I don't generally care about what people have to say, but even the strongest person may intake the things that are around them, even because I never believed that I wasn't good enough. But if you hear those things, like, you know, sometimes you go viral, and especially on TikTok, you get the crazies in your comments. So I've had like crazy people in my comments, like calling me, like saying I'm untalented and they don't understand why people pay for my work, just all kind of stuff like that. So typically that's not something that would bother me, because it doesn't bother me, but it can be something that's in the back of your mind. And if it's in the back of your mind, it can some way come to the forefront, and that will eventually play into how you start operating when it comes to yourself and your business. So like, I never had, like, it's okay. My mom's side of the family, they've always been like supportive, because even when I was little, even when I was a kid, they would always say like, Nika gonna be famous. She gonna be famous. They would say it all the time. So that I've always had that like mindset that I was going to be like, not, you know, I don't want to say it. I'm saying be famous. I always said that. I always had that mindset, but my family also always had that mindset too, that I would be something in that way. So when I first started creating for YouTube, my cousin actually bought my first camera as a way to invest in me, because she was like, I know you're going to be somebody, and I just want you to take care of me. So, bitch, I'm finna buy this camera for you because you gonna take care of me when you get rich. So
I love it.
She always, like, my family always were supportive of me in me being this person. But it's like one of those things where it's like, I think it was, they didn't think it would happen as quickly as it happened. And I also didn't think it would happen as quickly as it happened. I had put all of my dreams on a moon, like on a moon. I shot them on a rocket to the moon. They felt so far out of reach to me. So I remember being in a place where like, I'm like, oh, I can't wait till I'm getting PR. I can't wait till I get brand deals. I made it seem like it would take me years and years and years to get there. It wasn't until I act like it was around the corner that it was really around the corner. So I stopped saying things like, I can't wait to saying, thank you so much for all the brand deals I got, God. Thank you so much. I cannot believe I'm getting all these brand deals like that. I started talking in that way as if it was already here. So when I started talking in that way, things shifted in that way. So you have to be stronger. Your mind and your free will has to be stronger than like those fears. And like the people around you can project onto you their fears. So you're not supposed to share when you're working on something. You're not supposed to share with people because you don't know what they're praying for. Like that's why I tell people don't pray for me all the time because I don't know what you're praying for. I don't know. You could be praying me in the opposite direction of where I'm trying to go. So you have to be careful of your environment. You have to be careful around the people that are around you. And you have to be careful about what you're consuming as well, like media that you're consuming, because something so small can trigger that. If you already have something where you're battling a limited belief, small things can trigger that. And for me, one of the biggest things that triggers my limited belief is things not happening quickly or happening in the way that I think they should happen. So it's only when I'm open to all possibilities that things happen for me. Like if I decide that I'm going to make $1,000 today and I'm dead set on that $1,000 coming from my art and that's it, not from my coaching because I do coaching, not from my one-to-ones because I do one-to-ones for art, not from my courses because I do that, not from brand deals because I get brand deals. If I'm just so stuck on it being from one way, I'm limiting my belief because I'm saying I'm going to make it from this and this alone when it could come in any form. It can come as a gift from someone. It could come as someone paying you back to owe you money. It can come in any form. And then when you are limiting yourself to how it's going to come to you, which I sometimes do, then you are the block at that point because you're limiting yourself. So you have to be open to your blessings or whatever coming to you in every single way. Mm-hmm. Like I used to say all the time, manifesting a house. I did not know it was going to be because I have a partner who has a house. I always thought it was going to be because I bought a house, not because he bought a house. So,
I that actually happened to me last year. I was like, I'm manifesting a house, and then I was living with my partner in his house. So, and then I was manifesting, what was it? I was manifesting like, this is before like early times of manifesting, trying to figure out what manifesting is. And I remember manifesting a few $1,000s, but the way that it came to me is that someone messed up my cell phone bill and I didn't pay my cell phone bill for a whole year. Because they gave me credits for my cell phone bill.
That's crazy. That kind of stuff happens and it's like you're not even thinking about the way that like it's going to come to you. So it's like when I'm open to how it comes to me because I remember I was manifesting like some money, and when it came, not that you questioning how I got there, I have never ever like gotten an order from my website and was like, let me go look at this person. Who is this person buying $4,000 art? That day I was like, who the fuck is this? And I was just searching. I was just like, why are you questioning what you asked God for? You questioning that? Like you can't, like you are literally, you asked him for it, he gave it to you, and now you scared? You scared of your own power? No, ma'am. No. And so it's very easy to get in, especially your surroundings. Like because I'm from the hood, like I am from the hood. I did not stay there. We got out when I was very young, but that limited mindset, I have cousins in Brunswick, Georgia, who think that going to Jacksonville is going somewhere. because they have a limited mindset. I remember when I was in my 20s, I moved to New York because I've always been a little bold. I moved to New York with like $2,000, all I had. And of course I came back home because I'm Floridian. New York is not for me. I can visit, but I cannot live there. So I moved to New York in my early 20s. So it's like when I was there and I was just seeing all these things, I brought all these pictures and videos back and I was showing my brother, who has never really been anywhere. And he was just like, I can't believe you was really in New York. Was it really like that? So when I went to Georgia, my cousins asked me, you was really in New York? Was it like what it's like on TV? I'm just like, these things are so easily available to you. You can go there. Like we have free will. If I wanted to right now, I can move to New York again because you can do whatever it is you want to do. But it's like, it's so that we don't realize we have such a limited mindset to what we can do. Such a limited mindset.
And truly, the only reason why we do things is out of two reasons, either fear or love.
Yes.
So
that's another reason why, like, I got rid of my website I usually take my website offline when I'm updating it. And I dead serious got rid of any art that I created out of desperation for money. I don't want that. I don't want that money. So anything that I created out of desperation. So because I didn't used to create that way. I created because I wanted to create. Like these pieces that I showed you guys, I created because I wanted to add to that collection. That's it. It's still here, and whether a person purchased it or not, I got paid already for it because I get paid in the process. I get paid seeing the finishing product. So when someone does purchase my work, it is always a bonus. But any art that I was creating, hoping that to be the payout, I don't want to sell that. So I got rid of all of that. And since I'm updating my website, like two of these pieces, because I'm doing a giveaway with one of them. So two of these pieces, I think I want to add resin on top to make it all shiny and stuff like that. But I removed my website, and until I'm finished updating it, like getting rid of anything that I created out of desperation, I don't want to sell it. So like I had to, it took a lot for me to get to that place to decide to do that, because it's like sometimes you don't realize that you're doing things out of desperation because you're trying to be in control of things. Like as a Capricorn, I do have control issues. Like I have them really, really bad. And if I'm open to what the universe has for me, then I can't be trying to control how they give it to me. So if I created something trying to create, like my job is not to create. I'm not the creator. My job is to ask and receive, especially if I'm about feminine energy. Feminine don't go get, you receive it. So I had to get to a place where I'm just like, okay, well, you created this because you were desperate. You created this because you were this, you were that. You can't sell that. And that's why it's not selling anyway, because you created it out of desperation. So it should be only because I'm inspired and because I am a creative and I don't feel fulfilled unless I create. That's why I should be creating. I should not be creating for money. So anything I create with money in mind, anytime I've done any collection with money in mind, it never did well, ever. And when I recognized that, that's why I was like, okay, I can't sell anything that it has to do with money. Like that's the only reason why you're creating it, then it's not going to sell, because that's not why you originally became an artist in the first place.
Interesting. So you're saying like a lot of your success comes from intention behind what you're doing, intention behind your action.
Definitely. Because like I've said this to a lot of artists, because like, of course I have success as an artist. I'm not going to act like I don't have success. So I do have success, and I have people coming to me, of course, asking me how to get that success. And one of the things that, whether they want to be a content creator, sorry, it's a bug flying around. Whether they want to be a content creator or an artist, you can't, if you are entering into this field to make money, you need to turn around. Because I was a content creator for 2 to 3 years before I ever made a dime of money. I would go to work at my regular job, and I would come home, do makeup, turn myself into the avatar, it, the clown, all that, record the process, take all that makeup off, go to work, edit my videos at work, come home and do the same thing. And I did that consistently every single day for 3 years before I got any money at all. So if a negative bank account, overdrawn bank account, or you not knowing how you're going to pay your bills will deter you, you don't need to be in this business, because there's a lot of uncertainty, and you need to find your why. And if your why is money, it can't be money. It cannot be money. You got to find your why. I started creating because I was using it as a form of creative expression because I was getting over a breakup. And I've always been a hands-on person. Like when I was a child, my mom would always get me like little candle making kits or a chia pet or like bracelet making kits. So I've always been like, I had to do something with my hands. I've always been that way. So I felt fulfillment in creating. That's why I create. And if I'm creating with the intention on making money, and that's it, not like if I don't get paid from the process, then I don't need to be trying to do that. So I make sure I tell people that when they ask me like advice on becoming an artist, because it can be a thankless, payless job for a very long time. And you can't jump in and expect it to just come like that. And then a lot of the reason why I do make money that I make is like, yes, people purchase my art and I know that I am talented, but a lot of times people, they can go to another artist to get this type of art. They are purchasing your personality sometimes too. So if you don't have that, like have the want to get in front of a camera and talk and all those things, it may be more difficult to get your work in front of people if you're going to use a platform like TikTok. TikTok likes personality. So sometimes it's difficult for people to use this platform to push their work out there because they don't want to get in front of a camera at all. They want to be a faceless account. And it's difficult for faceless accounts to make money on it. It depends on the aesthetic. I'll take that back.
Yeah.
Like, because you have faceless accounts for like, you know, the aesthetically pleasing girlies, the finance girlies, like they can do that kind of stuff. But as an artist, like for me, I had to get on here and be my authentic self in order for my work to be put in front of my audience, like the people that I want to purchase. So I know it sounds cliche, but just be yourself.
That's the highest vibration, the highest form of vibration is authenticity next to gratitude. So I 100% believe that. Well, that gravitated me towards you being authentic. I was like, I'm tired of all these fake. I'm not gonna cuss. I'm tired of all these fake people. You know, we need something else, and you know, we need authenticity. We need to feel it.
Yeah.
So being from the hood, because I actually don't tell a lot of people that I'm from the hood, but
I don't mind
because talking about it. Yeah, I don't mind. I feel like
because I'm still her, but you know.
Okay. I feel like because I've worked in so many predominantly white areas or rich areas, you know, it, especially being in corporate,
yes,
you have to like hide certain aspects of yourself because they try and trigger you with being from the hood.
Definitely. My supervisor, because when I worked in corporate, I worked for healthcare. So I worked for United Healthcare. When I first got in, I was on the phones and I said I wanted to be a trainer. I became a trainer within a year. And from there, I got a different supervisor. She was my supervisor for my last 4 years working there. She was a Caucasian woman, but she knew how to play the mother effing corporate game. So I used to get in trouble when I first became a trainer. I used to get in trouble because I am authentic. So I didn't know how to play the game. I didn't know how to be, if she called it fluffy, I called it fake. I didn't know how to do that. So if I did not like somebody, I would let them know that. However, I was still pleasant. Like when I was on the phone, like when we would have like disgruntled customers calling in, I would never have bad scores because like somebody was listening to my phone call. They was just like, you say the most like annoying shit in the most pleasant way. So it's like I knew how to deliver it. Like I'm gonna tell you about yourself, but I delivered it in a way that I can't get fired and you can't take a piece from it because you know you being an asshole on this phone. You know that. So I was always telling people myself, and she was just like, you can't do that. You got to learn how to turn it on and off. Like, because I heard you talking to her and basically I was getting, bitch, I don't like you. And I was just like, cause I don't like her. And she was like, you don't like her? And I was like, well, why not? We're all grown-ups. Why can't we just tell each other how it is? So I've always been a very honest person. It wasn't until I started working in corporate that I learned that you don't have to be brutally honest. Because why do you have to be brutal when you're honest? You don't have to do that. So I had to learn how to still, because I was younger too. When I became a trainer, I was the youngest person on our team. I was like 26 or something, 25 or 26. And I used to have to train people who were much older than me. I got people 50, 60 years old and they got to listen to me. And I had to come in, and I'm cute. I'm like a little baby face. They didn't want to listen to me. So I had to come in and lay the hammer down on them sometimes. But I was still I was like the most fun trainer they ever had. Like I always had super high test scores and super high like evaluations because people always had a very good time in my class. But I had my supervisor told me I had a very fine line, and I walked it very well of being relatable, but also still being corporate. So like, I don't know if like, I know how to get up and talk all prim and proper, but I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm not like, I'm going to talk like I have sense, but I'm not going to get up here and be fake with y'all because y'all don't even want to be here. Like, y'all don't even want to be here. Like this, no one wants to be here. We're working. This is not a fun environment. So we got to try to make it fun some way. So I did have to have the, code. I had to, be like code switching. But for the most part, I try not to. This is just how I talk normally. Like I usually speak this way normally. Unless, if it's time to get crunk, I can turn it up. But for the most part, this is just how I speak. Growing up in the hood, I always was called a white girl. Like, because the type of music that I listened to, like Britney Spears, I was obsessed. Britney Spears, I was obsessed.
Obsessed. Christina Aguilera, obsessed. Jessica Simpson.
Genie in a Bottle, obsessed. So because I was always called the white girl, so I was like, I didn't really have to do too much code switching because this is how I speak anyway. But I still needed them to know that I was black, working in corporate. Like I need y'all to know that I am a black woman. So I do think that a part of the reason why I did get let go is because they couldn't really control me. They couldn't really put a wrangle on me. Like, this girl is crazy. But, like, I do think that authenticity goes a long way in any field that you're working in, whether it's content creation or working in corporate. But I think that's like the way that I am now. Like I have people who worked at Optum with me who follow me online, and they're just like, she was just like it as a trainer. Like they were like, she act just like this when she used to teach us. So it's like, it wasn't a very big transition for me to just be my authentic self in front of the camera because I'm like this all the time. Like I wake up like this, I go to sleep like this, and I think it's nothing wrong with you being authentic as long as it's not hurting anybody. And like, I'm not like a harmful person. Like I don't use harmful language. So I don't see no reason why I need to change how I be speaking and stuff like that. I don't see no reason why.
It's crazy because, dealing. Yes, I agree with everything that you said because I've had to deal with it.
Yeah.
Damn. And now I live in the Rocky Mountains, and I moved back to the mountains and working with a salon here. And I don't know, man. I miss me.
Yeah. I had to, when you're like depressed, it's easy to lose yourself when you're depressed. Because I found myself like got to a point where I wasn't really doing my hair. Like, you know, I do my own hair for the most part because I'm not going to be paying nobody $300 to do my hair. But, you know, black girl magic, we're going to find a way to do it. So I usually do like my own hair stuff, but I do my own nails for the most part. I wasn't doing any of that. I kind of was just, I was not being myself. Like, it was because I felt so spiritually homeless. It wasn't until I started doing stuff like, okay, I got to do something. So like, I'm going to start with doing my hair. And when I did my hair, I was just like, okay, I feel like I'm getting back to who I am. It's like I'm getting back to my footing. Okay, so let's create some art. So it's easy for you to lose yourself in like a depression or a trauma or something like that. Especially like with the world it is now, it's like so much inflation and then the politics and all these things. It's easy for people to get depressed because of everything that's happened around us. And then it's easy to get lost in that too.
Lost in the sauce.
Definitely.
I feel that. So what's next? Now that you've...
A good man over there taking the trash out. Look at that man.
Okay.
Look at that man over there doing yard work.
That trash out. Yes. For all the men that are watching, you don't understand. When you are taking care of business, it just does something to us. And please take note. Please take note. Okay? Anyway. Oh, that was another question. Okay, I'm gonna ask this question, another question, and then we're good. So a problem that arises when I'm doing readings. As you guys know, I do energy readings. I'm an intuitive coach. I help people with their limiting blocks. And that's the other reason why I came up with this show, because I feel like we don't openly talk enough about what blocks us as women, and we don't have a safe space for that. So I get this question all the time, Nika. How am I like making money, successful, but it's very difficult for me to find a guy that's secure within himself in order for me to shine the way that I do?
So I hate to sound cliche,
Oh.
and this is going to sound cliche. It's going to be weird coming from me. When I was younger, if a person were to like ask me like where you see yourself in 20 years, I've always been a very career-driven person. So not that I didn't see myself married or it's not that I never saw myself with a partner, but I did not see a relationship or a partner. I didn't see that as a goal at all. I'm sorry. I never saw that as like a goal. So when people would ask me like, what are your top 5 goals? And I would say like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. And they were like, well, what about a husband and the kids? I'm just like, well, he in there somewhere, I'm sure. Like, I'm sure he'll be there somewhere. I didn't see it as like a goal for me to attain.
Yeah.
So I never really focused on these men. I just really did not. And when I say cliche, I think that you will find the person when you're supposed to. I really do feel that way. The only reason why I say that is because I was very guarded with Jonathan when we first started dating. And for him, like Jonathan, like we met on a dating site. We met on a dating site, and Jonathan's very shy. He's a very shy person. We met on Bumble, and you know, women have to make the first move on those sites. He would have never spoken to me first because he's nervous. He would have never spoken. So had we not met, we lived within 5 to 10 minutes of each other most of our life, and we never knew. He lived so close to me. We were so close to each other, and we never crossed paths with it. We went to the same high school, never crossed paths with each other. And it's like you meet people when you're supposed to. I really feel that way. So all of the things that I saw, like you ever saw that sound on TikTok when it's just like, I'm a hoe, I'm a pimp, I got kids. I got 5 kids. I'm their daddy now. I'm broke. I got bread. I'm homeless. He was like that. It's like anything I said, he was like, oh, I got that. Oh, I'm this. Oh, I'm that. So it's like no matter what I tried to put out there as an avoidant attachment type of person, he always was there to kind of like combat that. Like, girl, please, you saying it, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck none of that. Because this is what I want. This is what I want to be. So I do feel like it happens when it's supposed to happen. It's a dog right here. Sorry, my animal. I do feel like it happens when it's supposed to happen, but I also think that it shouldn't be a goal either. Because for me, if I was to spend the rest of my life not in a relationship in peaceful, because that's the thing, like, I didn't want to be with anybody that didn't bring me peace. Like, because I was in relationships where I would be so stressed out, and you always worried about what this person is doing when they're not around, and you want to check their phone and stuff like that. Like, that's stress that I did not want to have at all. So for me, I had decided that if the person didn't bring me peace, I don't want to be in a relationship at all. I would have rather been by myself for the rest of my life. I literally planned on being by myself. I planned on being a single woman. I would date, because I was still going on dates and stuff like that. I would go on dates, and, you know, I'm feminist, so I like to go on dates. So I like people pay for my dates and stuff like that. But I didn't have to be physical with anybody. Like, I don't, because I'm not going to say that. Sometimes you don't even finish, so it don't even be worth it. It don't even be worth it to be physical with people. Sometimes you date such selfish people sometimes where it's only about them. So it's like, I planned to be by myself, and if I was going to be with some person, they had to make my life better in some type of way. So I decided that, and it's like, when I decided that that's what I wanted to do, I'm like, okay, I'm trying to date right now, and I'm going to look for a person who is going to make me happy or something like that. That's when that actually came to me. But I didn't plan. I could not have planned this at all. I could have never planned. You don't want to go. He wants to give his money.
Sorry, go ahead.
I said I could have never planned that, but it's like, I just didn't. It was never a goal for me, because I don't think, some people may see it different, but I don't see a relationship as like a goal. Like, I don't think that's something to attain. Yeah. Like, but I also never saw it as something to attain. I'm happy that I have a relationship, but it was not like, when I think of a goal, I think of weight loss. So I think of eating right. I think of owning a business. I think of your career, but I've never saw a relationship as a goal to attain. I never saw that.
I 100% with you, Nika. I've never ever thought of it as a goal. I just know in my mind, like, all cognizant knowing that that's going to happen eventually. But
that's who.
You're so cute.
That's who.
You're so cute. How old are you? What's his name?
He is 2.5. That's who won't leave me alone.
I'm gonna get a dog. It's you know.
See, all those things, like, when I say they happen the way they're supposed to, like, Jonathan had a dog from like 15. He had a dog for like years, and the dog passed away. And then, like, his dad passed away a year before we met. So it's like, when he met me, he got another person and a dog. It's like, everything happens the way that it's supposed to happen, because he was just getting to a place where he wanted to get another dog, and he met me, and he didn't have to get another dog because I came with a dog. So it's like, everything, I really feel like it falls the way it's supposed to fall. We have so many. You ever heard of the invisible string theory? It's like, where they say, like, your partner or your soulmate, it's like you're connected in some way. Like, we had so many of those things. Like, his birthday is November 22nd. My mom's birthday is November 22nd. His brother's birthday is my brother's birthday. Like, it was just so, like, my mom and my dad was born in January. My mom was born in November. I'm born in January. Jonathan's born in November on my mom's birthday too. So it's like, we had so many, like, coincidences. It's like, this is who I'm supposed to be with. But if I would have met him prior to me healing myself and getting to my place where I do feel like women, specifically in America, we go from living with our parents to, most of the time when people move out, it's like they move out with their boyfriend or their husband or their kids, and they never really live by themselves. Like, my mom went from living with her mom to being married with kids. So she never actually lived alone ever in her life. It wasn't until I lived alone for like 3 or 4 years where I'm just like learning who I am, what I like, what I want my home to be like, what I want my environment to feel like. And I feel like that that like 3 or 4 years while I was by myself, like no one else around me, I got to know who I was. Had I not gone through that, I don't think me and Jonathan would have lasted, because I would have ran him away. I would have ran him away in the beginning, because he just was asking so many questions. He was trying to get to know me, and I was like, what the hell is wrong with you?
I was in a situation very similar, but the reverse. Like, he was avoiding attachment, and it just came to the point where it's like, okay, I'm gone. Like, I'm done. Like, you want to keep pushing me away? I gotta go, because this is too much.
It's a control issue thing too. Like, I would do that. It's like, if in my brain, I feel like it's not you that I don't think it's gonna last with. It's just because past relationships didn't work. They always end, and if they're gonna end on my terms, because I pushed you away. That's not a good mindset. I'm not bragging on it, but that's just literally how my brain was. It's like, well, if he gonna leave me, I might as well leave him.
Well, okay. So once again, I'm an intuitive coach, and he knows that, and so I actually had to sit down with him and have this conversation of like, I know that this is what's going on. Mm-hmm. What are we going to do to change it? And it was just boom, even that made it even worse. I was just like, I can't keep this, too much.
Me and Jonathan have one of my red flags or like deal breakers is communication. I cannot be with a person who, even if they don't know how to communicate, are not open to learning how to properly communicate. If we have a disagreement, I can't do screaming and yelling. I can't argue. I don't like to argue at all. I definitely don't want it in our relationship. So it can't be that we're going to fuss at each other, cuss each other out, and then we're going to be friends later. I don't even want to see you. You think I'm going to be your friend? So like, I couldn't be in a relationship with a person like that. So it's always been that one of my deal breakers is communication. And with him, it's like, it wasn't difficult for me to communicate with him because he was just so open to expressing himself and letting me know how he felt and he's a soft-spoken man. So I've never felt intimidated when he speaks, because like, he's a man of not many words, but when he does speak, it means something. So it's like, I didn't have to worry about, I had got to a point where with him, it was difficult. Like you said, you basically confronted them and it got worse. It was that way for me with him because I was so used to bringing something up to a man and him turning it into a big argument, and we don't get past that. I had never been in a situation where I bring something up, he speaks calmly, and we have to keep talking after that. So when he started asking me questions, I was just like, oh, hell no. Did he flip this around? Because I just knew he was going to yell at me and cuss at me, and then we was going to break up or something. How is we still even talking to each other? So it took a lot for me to get used to healthy communication. Even though that's what I wanted, I had never gotten it. So at first, it was creating a problem because I was like, am I the problem? Because why am I getting mad that he's communicating healthy? And that's what I wanted. It was just, I just had never been treated properly. And I didn't know that I had never been treated properly until I was treated well. I never knew. I just thought that was just how guys were. And then your environment, like I'm looking at my friend go through things and she's having problems, and I'm seeing my mom upset at my dad. I'm just like, this is just what it's going to be. And I had decided that I didn't want to be with anybody because I saw everyone else around me going through shit. And I was like, well, I'm just going to be by myself then, because clearly I ain't got no patience for these men. But it wasn't that. It's like you meet the person when you're supposed to. But a lot of it, when you do the proper healing, you'll attract the proper partner. And that's what I had to learn, honestly, when I was with him.
I agree. When you do the proper healing, and that's the thing, it has to be on both ends. Being with a healed person is triggering.
It is very triggering because you have to learn how to deal with, especially if you're used to like trauma, you have to learn how to deal with the peace, because like it doesn't seem safe. Like you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're waiting for something to happen. So it is triggering. And the thing is, like you talk about, like for the most part, you manifest, and that's what your tips are about. For a year before I started even dating, my manifestation, one of them was about my partner. Me and my friend, my best friend, I don't know if she's in here because I did send her this live. Her name is Christian, my best friend Christian. We do a slideshow that we make for like the new year, and it has like your spirituality, like what you want your spirituality to look like, what you want your personal relationship with yourself to look like, what you want your relationship with a partner to look like, what you want your friendships to look like all those things. And we make like a slideshow and we call it Becoming Her. So we do this every year, and we've been doing it for the last 2 or 3 years, where it's like we make this basically vision board slideshow about what we want our lives to be. And one of the things that I wanted to have is manifesting daily. So I've been manifesting every single day for the last like 4 years. And one of the things I would say to myself every day, even before I started dating, was I thank God for a partner who effortlessly protects and provides while making me feel safe and at peace. So before I even got this person that I met with now, I was manifesting that for a year. And when I got that, I was like, oh my God, I'm just that. I manifested the exact partner that I wanted. Yeah. I said it literally every single day. And I wasn't
so okay, shameless plug here. But I created a gratitude journal, okay? And that's literally what this journal is. Every single day, you write down who you're moving towards. You write down what you're grateful for. I'm grateful that my husband's going to be he's going to want to communicate with me because he knows that our connection is worth, get used to actually writing that down. You can go to my website, get the journal. But the other part that you were talking about earlier, how do I say it? When you're talking about how your emotions became that pattern, you were used to that trauma. So you're like, that's what I'm used to. That's what feels right. So how did you shift your mindset from that? Like, did you say, like, if there was like a disagreement, did you say, you know what, I need a little time? Or how did you move through that?
So we had like somewhat of a problem because we had a little bit of an issue because he has anxious attachment and I have avoidant attachment. So I would want to break and not talk about it because like I need to process my emotions by myself and then come back and we can talk about it. But he's like quick recovery time. He's like, if we messed it up right now, we got to fix it right now. So we had to learn how to compromise on that because we have very different attachment styles. His is anxious. He's always like, if I breathe wrong, you gonna leave me? Like, it's like, he's just, this thing, I leave him. But some of that comes from his trauma, from his past of what you call that? Abandonment. So it's like, we had some issue when it came to that, but it's like, we both want to be in this relationship. So it just took both of us really working on it and being open and honest with each other, to be honest. Like, whenever I noticed like I was doing that, I hold myself accountable. Like, you know how some people just don't hold themselves accountable? Like, I think that's why it does work, is because I hold myself accountable, not just in this relationship all the time. If I make a mistake in my business, I hold myself accountable. I don't make excuses. Like, I'm very big on impact versus intent. I'm very big on that. So like, you may want to know what my intentions were, but I don't feel like that matters because it doesn't change the impact. So I'm very big on how I impacted a person. So since I've always been that way, it was easy when we noticed there is an issue because I call myself out. I don't even need, he's going to call me out, but I don't even need him to do it because I do it for myself. So because we have those two personalities where we actually see the issue in our ways, it does help us. Like, I think it really just takes you to be self-aware and honest with yourself. Sometimes we're not honest with ourselves. Like how I said I was the block. I had to recognize that I was the block and the problem. And the only way you're going to fix it is if the problem is X, Y, Z, and you're working on ABC, you're not going to fix the problem. You may fix a problem, but it's not the problem that is the issue. So I had to recognize myself whenever I shut down. If I get upset, if I get like frustrated and I don't know how to get my point across, like I will shut down. I don't want to talk about it no more. I don't want to talk about it later. Let's drop it. Let's table it. But that doesn't help because it leaves a problem that's unresolved. When you sweep enough stuff under the rug, you just got a big ass mess. So I had to recognize that in myself. And when I recognized that, I just had to you have to be honest with yourself. Sometimes we are just not honest with ourselves that we may be the problem. Sometimes we're just not. Like, when you're self-aware, if you can call yourself out, it'll be easier for you when you're with someone else because they won't even have to call you out. You'll be able to fix the problem. Especially if you're a person who don't like nobody to tell you about yourself, you need to be telling yourself about yourself. If you don't want to call you out, you need to call yourself out.
Yes.
You don't say nothing to you, you need to be talking to yourself. So since I'm already that way, it's actually very easy for me. And it was more difficult admitting that I was the problem in some communication areas. Because I'm just like you said, I was so used to that trauma where you're dealing with a person who doesn't like to be called out. So once you bring something to the table, they turn it into an argument rather than a discussion on how to fix the problem. I was used to that and actually not being resolved. But with this person, like if I say one thing to Jonathan about anything, or if he says one thing to me about anything, we actually make efforts to try to fix whatever the issue is. I believe that effort produces results in the area that's messed up. Mm-hmm. So if you are not producing results, you're not putting in effort. I feel that way. Like if there are not results in that area. So if my thing is that I shut down when we have a conversation, when I get upset, my effort would be to not shut down or notice when I am shutting down to snap back and get back in there. But if I'm still at a place where that's what I'm doing, because when you're healing, it doesn't mean you're not going to be triggered because you are going to be triggered. It's what you do when you are triggered. Yes. And for me, I had to recognize that and be like, okay, you said you weren't going to shut down no more, bitch, you need to talk. You said you weren't going to do that no more. So, but that's me and me holding myself accountable. So many of us don't do that. So many like, because you don't want to be the problem. Like you don't want to, some people want to be the victim. So that you don't want to be the problem. You don't want to be what's causing the issues in your life. It's easier to blame other people because if you can blame other people if they don't fix the problem, there's no effort you have to do there. It's when you are the problem where the effort comes into play. And some people just don't want to do that. They don't want to do the self-work.
No, it's easier to follow, right? It's easier to push it down and then project. That's way easier.
Way easier because you don't have to do any work. If I can blame somebody else, I don't have to do any work. But if you actually want to fix your problems, you have to be self-aware. You have to realize like what it is. Like I know that I have some self-sabotaging qualities about myself. And the only way that I can get ahead of that is if I recognize that about myself. You can't keep blaming other people. Like if you stay with a person who's not good for you, like the first time they hurt you, it's their fault. The second time they hurt you, it's their fault. But if you stay and you keep staying, it's still wrong that they hurt you. But it's a point where you have to realize your role in your suffering. So you have to get to that point where, okay, this pattern, I keep running into this keeps happening and it's showing itself in different faces. Clearly I'm the problem because I'm had this problem with him, with her, with him, with them. And the only common denominator is me. Yeah. So I have to fix it. But everybody can't do that self-reflection and say that, hey, I am the problem. Everybody can't do that. I've learned that.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've learned that. I've worked with a lot of people that are unable to do that. And I think it's very time consuming emotionally.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're the one that ends up doing all the work.
Exactly.
you're the one that ends up having those critical conversations, and it's like,
and they still never see it. They never see it. They still never see it.
It's crazy to me. I don't understand it. But I'm so happy that you are now. I remember when you're like, "Oh, I'm almost at 1 million," but don't say anything. Hold your breath. So how does it feel to have gone viral? Well, you've gone viral multiple times, but
honestly, and I don't want to sound like I'm unappreciative or anything like that. I do have a problem where I usually don't celebrate my goals, like because I'm a goal digger. Like, I'm always trying to accomplish a goal. So I sometimes I have to remember to celebrate something. I remember I sold a piece in March. It was a very nice piece. It was like a over $1,000 piece. And for me, since it's my job, I didn't feel like I could celebrate that. And it's not that I didn't feel like I could. It's like, you ever heard, you don't applaud a fish for swimming. I'm an artist. I'm supposed to sell art. So if I sell art, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. But honestly, that is a big deal because somebody wanted to purchase something from your hand. So when I told Jonathan that I sold a piece, he was like, "Oh my God." And he was so excited. And it wasn't until he got excited that I was like, wow, I really don't celebrate myself and my accomplishments that often. So with the amount of times that I've gone viral over the last couple of years, I've never celebrated it ever. So I don't know how it feels, because I just like, okay, so now we need another one. Now we need another viral video.
okay. Well, I thought I was the only one, but okay. No, it's true. Yeah, when I opened my salon, I didn't have a grand opening. Yeah. But I also was like, who am I celebrating it with? You know?
And to get to a point where it's like, you're celebrating it with yourself. So like, I have been getting better with it, but I just like now, when I have to think about all of my accomplishments, sometimes to really think about, bitch, you really came from nothing. Like when I think about, I know I have over 700,000 followers now on TikTok, but it was one point where that shit said 0. That's a big accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very big accomplishment. Girl, I thought that was a squirrel. I was like, what the fuck? But that's a big accomplishment. So even when I was at 100,000 followers, like I was like, that's a big. It said 0 at one time, and I know sometimes, like, because the algorithms are trash and they're always constantly changing, it may feel like you're not doing anything. But like when I look at this right now, in your live, you have 1.2 thousand likes on this live. That's a lot of fucking likes. Imagine 1.2 thousand people in front of you right now. That is a lot of likes. So even just 8 people, if I was in there doing my job and 8 people came in there and watched me, I would be like, what are y'all doing? So I think sometimes we have to really sit and think like, there's 5,000 people who wanted to watch me create this art. That's a big accomplishment. I understand that I've had videos where 1 million people watch me create, but I still was able to, with me just doing what I do, my authentic self, pulled in the intention and retained 5,000 people watching me. So you have to remember that it's not a numbers game. It's really not, because whether you have 5,000 views or 500,000 views, that's a lot of people that came to watch you. Even if it's 200, that's still a lot of people. That's a lot of people. That came. That's a lot of people that came to watch you. So I have to get better at celebrating myself, but I really don't. I love your art, Nika. Your talent is such a blessing from God. Oh, thank you, Connie. I appreciate you.
That's so sweet, Connie. See, people are celebrating you.
Thank you. See, but honestly, it wasn't until I was like going live and stuff that I was like, and just hearing you guys speak to me in that way. Because like in my brain, this is what it's supposed to be. I'm supposed to be this way. So because I'm supposed to be this way, what am I celebrating? But that's still a big accomplishment, because like you don't have it's not like you have a powerhouse behind you. You don't have a person editing your videos. You don't have everything you're doing is straight from your head, from your mind, from your creativity. That's a big accomplishment. Like when I have people ask me, who's doing your videos? Baby, that's me holding the camera while I'm painting. Like all of that is a big deal. So to grow something, it's not like you put no money into it. It's like everything is just from you. That's a big deal. Like everything we do, especially growing our platforms, whether we have 1,000, 100,000, 200,000, whatever your platform, you grew that from scratch, from literally nothing. So that's a very big deal.
Thank you guys so much for the 1.2K likes. We really, really appreciate it. Continue to tap on the screen, because the person who interacts the most is that we're actually going to be doing a giveaway. So I'm super, super excited about that. Yeah. So what's next for you, love? What are you doing next? You're going to be going to fairs and markets. You're going to start doing that?
Yeah, I said I was going to start doing more in-person things, more, because I do know that I have the type of energy and the type of personality that's inviting. So I am going to start doing more things like that. I am going to try. I know I say this, I'm going to try to go live more so people can talk to me and get to know me. But honestly, I just want to create. Like, I feel like Beyonce, but I just want to create. Like, I'm doing this because this is what I like to do. I create because I enjoy it. I had a house full of art. And of course, people purchase my art. But for the most part, I was sad when it left because my payoff was me creating it. That's like, I get paid. But the biggest payoff is when I make something and it's just beautiful. It's what I wanted it to be. I'm just like, this is the best thing ever. That is the payoff for me. So the only thing is you're going to see is just more of me creating, more like maybe lines and stuff like, you might one day just happen to see my own paint brand and, you know, oh, she worked with Bear Paint. You might see something like that. Oh, she worked with Decker because she be using tools. Like, stuff like that. That's what I think.
So smart. Like if you know you're teaching someone an art how to do a specific piece, you can have an art package that goes along with it.
Yes, of course.
That's awesome. That's smart.
Just things like that. Like I like to create, and because I enjoy creating, you're just going to see more art coming from me. That's it. Just more art. I might even create a human. Who knows? I might even create a human.
Like, so exciting. I'm excited to see that journey. I'm excited. I think this is my last question for you, my love. Mm-hmm. How does God play a role in your creation?
That's a very good question. I pray before I work all the time. You know, I said I used to write prayer notes. I still do because I get up and I journal every day. I get up and I journal, and usually my journaling is me talking to God or source or creator, whatever it is, because I do believe there's something higher than us. But I literally pray about things before I do them. I pray before I ship things out, specifically to get to people untethered, unharmed. God plays a very big part because God was a creator. He created me, and in all this world, he made the sky, the stars, the moon, and he also said we need a Nika, we need a Tiana. So he plays a very big part because he created me and thought. I know that my grandma always teaches me that as long as my heart is beating, I have a purpose. And when he helped me figure out what my purpose was, and that is to bring beauty to the world like he does. So he does play a very big role. I know that like some people, I remember when I talked about manifesting and I talked about how I manifested the life I wanted, I had people in my comments, basically people who are Christian, saying that God helps you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, just because you don't hear me speaking about God does not mean that I don't have a relationship with God. Just because I use coarse language does not mean I don't have a relationship with God. Jesus hung with hoes, and he hung with lepers. He hung with everybody. So he
came from a hoe. No, check it.
Rahab was a hoe, and he used her. So he will use anybody. And when I have people telling me that they see God on me, I know he's using me. And because my relationship with God is personal, not private, I don't have to speak out loud because it's not your business. most of the time what God is doing in my life is not my business. I just have to do what he say do. So he does play a very big role in my life, or she, because some people believe God is a woman. God is a woman. But whatever it is, the source, what created me, has a very big influence in my life, because that is what I depend on in order to keep moving. Whenever I feel like I should give up or I'm afraid, I consult. I got to a point where I learned that anything obtained outside of the will of God will have to remain outside of the will of God to keep. And don't want anything that he don't have his name on. I don't want it, which is another reason why I know God is not desperation. I know he's not desperate. So any piece that I created out of desperation, I don't want, because God is not desperate. He knows he takes care of everything, and he's going to take care of everything. So because I'm that way, like, I know it's because of God. I know that I can't say it's anything but God, because I remember when I manifested, the day that I put out, I wanted a career in creation, is the day that I sold my first piece. When I released that into the sky, that's the first, I sold that piece the same day. So he's everything. I pray before I create. I pray when I'm prepping for creation. I pray before I ship things out. I pray before I package, because I know that this life that I have is because of him. And because of that, I make sure I give my gratitude. If you want to get serious about abundance, you got to be serious about gratitude. So I'm very, very, very gracious for what God gave. I have a lot of gratitude for what God has done for me in my life, because when the way some things be happening, it ain't nothing but God. There's no explanation, nothing but him.
Hallelujah. And on that note, hallelujah. Thank you so much for taking the time with me today.
Right. Y'all caught me on a day off, because I had that really big piece I was talking about. If you haven't seen my most recent creation, I made a 3 foot by 4 foot agate slice. It is huge. And I was in the sun all last week prepping, because I have 2 other pieces I'm making, and I had to do all that in the sun. I needed a week off. So y'all caught me on my week off. Lovely. I'm off for the week. I'm not doing no work at all. I'm tired.
I can't imagine how much energy that you put in, literally energy that you put into your work.
Sweat and tears, all of it. So I was more than happy because you've been a supporter of mine for a very long time, and I've been a supporter of yours for a long time. So I was more than happy to come and talk to your audience and just talk to you, because I love you. Love you, girl.
I love you too. I wish you were closer, but I'm going to eventually come and visit you, because I want to come to Florida.
Where are you now? I thought you were in Canada, weren't you?
Yeah.
Okay. You're still in Canada?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I want to travel to Canada, so we're going to see each other.
Yes. And I live in the most beautiful place, the Rocky Mountains, where you just see mountains everywhere. It's just beautiful. So you can come visit anytime.
I want to go to Lake Moraine or Moraine, like whatever it is. Oh, it's so beautiful. I want to go there so bad. It's on my list. I want to go there so bad.
Lake Moraine?
It's like this beautiful, I don't know exactly where it's located or how, because first of all, I didn't know Canada was so big. Lame school systems, child, I didn't know it was so big. But it's like the most crystal blue. Even during the summer, it's crystal blue. During the winter, it's crystal blue. It's just beautiful. It's so pretty.
I'm gonna Google that. I feel like that's close to me. There's a whole bunch of lakes here.
Y'all have like a lot of like beautiful like lakes and stuff, right? Or see, yeah, I have to go.
I live near the Columbia Valley Lake right now.
Okay.
Or river, Columbia Valley River.
Oh, Connie said, "Amen, amen, girl." I didn't even see your thing.
I was like that, and that was also a thing that I was manifesting, like being and living on the beach and being near a beach and being near water is so important to me. So here I am.
I know I'm an earth sign, but I should have been a water sign. I love the water.
And it's funny because, like I said, my best friend of like 17 years, she's a Capricorn, and you guys are very, very similar. Very, very similar.
What I'm doing to my baby? Oh no! I'm sorry. He just brought the dogs out.
Oh my gosh. Well, Nika, I'll let you go, my beautiful love. Thank you so much once again for being a part of my second episode on my show.
Of
Ooh.
course. And whoever is the winner, just send their information over to me. Like you'll get their address and everything, and I will send their piece out. I'm shipping stuff on Friday.
Okay, perfect. Oh, okay. Guys, continue to well, go ahead and follow. See, on mirror mode. Go ahead and follow this beautiful, amazing person. And she does do coaching. Like if you don't know how, like the next steps to build your business on social media, she has proven plans on how to do so. So please do that. If you guys need an intuitive coach, that's what I do. And if you want to start using gratitude, use gratitude. Okay. She's like, I don't know what my dog is doing. I will see you later.
It's one over here, it's one over there, and then that man over there too. So I'm like, what's going on?
Oh, I saw it in the back. All right, Nika, enjoy your day, and I hope God blesses you over and over and over, my love.
You too. Thank you so much for having me. I love y'all. Mwah. Bye.